These are the new 2023 gold ducats from the Royal Dutch Mint. I did not collect these really before last year. I accidentally won about 15 of them at an auction, and once I got those, I figured might as well get the rest. I placed a bunch of pre-bids is how that happened. And then I got an invoice a few weeks later and wondered, what the hell is this? And I remembered, oh yeah, I placed all those pre-bids. So I won all those ducats. They're mostly the ones from the 90s, the 2000s. And then I started looking around and painstakingly amassed every single other date that they made them from 1985 to the present. And I even got the ones from the 70s and 1960. So if a little background, they were striking ducats in the same approximate weight and fineness from 1586 with the same, well, slightly different night styles on the front, but the date divided, 15 and then 86, for example, all the way up with a lot of breaks, I'm sure, until 1937. Now, there's tons of dates in the 1600s and 1700s, and especially the late 1800s, that you're going to have a real hard time finding any dated ducats from. But at least in principle, they were striking these consistently, continuously, and in the same form and purity from 1586 till right now. In 1986, they started the current series. They struck the 1986 ducat and put a little piece of paper in there describing how it was the 400-year anniversary of that kind of ducat. And it's in the style of the 1600s. It does not look like the 76 one I'm showing you here. And it doesn't look like the 2023 one there. It looks like all those blurry ones in the periphery, which I'll show you a closer look at soon. So they're striking these ducats. They're for trade. They're basically 0.1104 AGW. So if you're wondering what these are, they're not 10th ounces. They're like a tenth and a tenth of a tenth ounce of gold. So here's the 86. This is what kicked off the whole current series. They didn't do an 87 or an 88, unfortunately. If you know why, let me know. Then they kick back in 89 and keep going till now. They look exactly like this 1986 one until 2016. Then in 2017, they made a special edition that looks just like that 1976 or 1985 I showed you, but it says 1817 on top of 2017 to celebrate a 200-year anniversary of that style, even though that style actually goes back to 1814. Anyway, then 2018, they start striking them looking like this 2023, and that's how they've looked since then. And the current style resembles that of the late 1700s, as they say on the little card, 1777. So picking these up, for me, the hardest date to get was the 2015. After that, the 2013. I think for most other people, you'd have a hard time getting these most recent dates, like the 22, the 21, the 20, the 19, the 18, because they have the lowest mintages. Back at the beginning of the series, they were minting them 3,000, 2,000 each. But by the time you get to about 2012, 13, you're just over 1,000, and then it drops under 1,000. And for the last few years until this year, they were in the 700 or 800s. Now for 2023, it's the first year they peaked back over 1,000 again at 1140. These are made to order, so in May is the only time you can place your order, and then you get them shipped to you in September. If you don't place your order by May, you can't get them, and you can't place your order before May either. I think these cost about $350 a piece, so you're not buying them to stack gold. And numismatically, I don't see these having much demand either. It's basically me and 1,000 other guys who have an interest in these coins. And we already got our coins. so I'm not sure who's out there to collect these from you if you were hoping to buy them to resell. But if you like the way they look, if you like the history of the ducat, then I think you might have an excuse. But that's all it would be, an excuse. There's no objectively justifiable reason to be buying all these. But what can I say? I like them, and maybe you do too.